Hi, I'm Lucas. Welcome back to my channel. In my opinion, any form of art originated from different ethnicity and nations has its cultural and civilizational background. The deeper the background is, the more influential the art form may become. The legacy of this art form is shared historically and globally. It is Chinese calligraphy, which stands as a representation of such profoundness in Chinese culture. Here comes the first problem. Among various Chinese cultural elements, what makes calligraphy representative? It turns out to be Chinese characters and writing brushes. Then you may be wondering, what features do they have, or how do they work together to form such uniqueness? Let me try to answer that. I will start with the Chinese characters. We all know that an alphabetic language, like English, is constituted by 26 letters as fundamental components. Each word is a series of letters, although these letters are in different shapes and sizes. Generally, they are organized in a linear way in a word, and the sentences of course look smooth and linear in the same way. Now, looking at how we write in Chinese, it looks like the characters are structured in a linear pattern as well. But the difference hides behind each individual character. For each character, there are structural components made up by basic dots and lines. We call those components as radicals. In the history of Chinese character, there were once more than 500 kinds of radicals created, and there were 90,000 characters formed by those radicals. Inevitably, some of the characters are no longer frequently used as time flies by. They are sealed in ancient books, and only a few literature scholars can recognize them. There are only a few thousands still often used by people today. According to statistics, the most frequently used 3,000 words could cover 99% of reading tests. Oh, wait. For native English speakers who are required to learn 20 to 30,000 words to read properly, only 3,000 characters is sufficient to read in Chinese. Isn't that a piece of cake? Back to writing characters. Unlike the English letters' linear style, each component of a Chinese character structures in a two-dimensional quadrilateral manner. This leads to the structure referred as square character. Metaphorically, alphabetic words are like barcodes. Chinese characters are QR codes. We know that QR codes bear a greater number of meanings than barcodes. When writing a Chinese character, supposedly more elements and messages are conveyed visually in a more complicated way. This richness of meanings endows Chinese characters with great artistic values. However, Chinese characters alone are far from enough to make itself a unique art. We need the second key element, the writing brushes. What is special about brushes is, unlike pens and pencils, they are soft. The writing brushes also look different from the brushes used in Western oil painting. They have conical brush tips. Thanks to the soft conical tips, the writing brushes could achieve useful performance in two ways. On one hand, when you hold the brush vertically correct, you could turn the brush around in any directions to change the way the character looks. By doing this, you may create lines with the same shapes and thickness. A term in Chinese calligraphy, blaze flash from all sides, describes such feature. On the other hand, when you raise and press the brush vertically, it creates different thickness to the line. Don't underestimate this subtle up and down movement. It allows for even more powerful visual expression and a greater possibility of innovation in the writing of Chinese characters, which is already a rich mixture of meanings. Let me explain this with examples. When writing a Chinese letter, if we follow the top-down handwriting habit in ancient China, without considering the aesthetics in calligraphy, hard-tipped writing would create something like this. As I mentioned earlier, the two-dimensional structure of an individual character makes the reshaping possible. The writing person's personality plays a crucial role in recreating the shape of characters. In this way, radical changes are brought along by changing the shapes, sizes, and the spatial relations between one character and another. Now we replace the hard-tipped pen with a brush, and take advantages of the brush to recreate the character's shape with vertical movements. We will get something like this in the end. We can tell how different they're looking using a writing brush or not. If you are wondering, the final calligraphy is a letter by Wang Xizhi, The Siege of Calligraphy, as referred in Chinese calligraphy history. Professionals who are charged with knowledge and skills not only appreciate the content displayed in the calligraphy works, but also observe the artist's ability of recreation. More importantly, the viewers feel the vertical movements of the brush as it was used by the artist. Even they could take a glimpse into the artist's sense of rhythm and emotions in their writings. In fact, there are many factors affecting the writing. The flexibility of the brush, the gathering and spreading of the brush tip, the amount of ink observed in the brush, and the water absorption ability of the paper used, all contributing to various possibilities of powerful visual expression in calligraphy. So far so good. We managed to come up with a conclusion. On the perspective of the result, calligraphy is a two-dimensional art. But when it comes to the artistic creation process, it is more like a three-dimensional art. Undisputedly, the things I talked in this episode bring about more topics to be addressed in detail. For example, the creation mechanism and evolution principle of Chinese character, the concrete knowledge of writing tools, writing skills, and tips, and so on. Don't worry, I will discuss these topics in the coming episodes. In the next video, I'd like to talk about the posture of holding a brush. Okay, that's all for today's video. If you find my videos interesting, please hit the like button, leave your comments below, or share them to your friends. Don't forget to subscribe as well. See you next time.